Hello guys, this is Dog M and we are playing on the Mindcrack server, vanilla Minecraft. Oh yeah, been reading the Mindcrack Reddits and there was an interesting thread or discussion, someone posting where are all the Mindcrack vanilla videos, and also commented on there. I find it kind of strange. I always see people requesting the Mindcrack vanilla play, but I definitely could see a drop in views in my vanilla Minecraft series or shows. Excuse me, since the FTP or FTB started. And I had that little talk about FTP in one of the episodes, because why did I do it? Because I could see it come a little bit. A lot of people are interested in the Feed the Beast, but there's also people that are not so much interested in it. And yeah, that's a little bit of a conflict there, you know, because I love my vanilla Minecraft, but you also wonder if you put up good episodes and basically was showing new stuff all the time, working with the new parts we got in vanilla Minecraft, and still the views go down a bit, and you think, well, okay, then most people are interested in Feed the Beast at the moment, you know, not saying that it's bad or something, but then you're kind of surprised when a post like that shows up. And by the way, most people are keep on posting the normal Minecraft vanilla videos, so we should be cool, guys. We should be cool. Nobody's forgetting about the server here. That is my bread and butter. I love it. Okay, so you saw it. We just walked up our staircase here. I hooked it up last time after I was done with recording the episode, and the vision for the whole thing is like this gigantic, slim, tree-like structure. If you look from here, already, you know, the staircase already gave it some more feel. You can see I got quite some workbenches all over the place. And now I wanted to try to utilize some of the tree saplings I have to make it a little bit more bushy around up there. Need some dirt. I don't have much dirt on me. We quickly grab that. Check it out. Let me see. So how have you been, guys? Hope all is cool. The weekend is coming to an end. At the moment, I'm living a bachelor's life, so to speak. Girlfriend is at how you call it, some kind of an educational program for her job. She's a journalist, and at the moment she's I don't know, a few hundred miles away, and doing some classes, and only can come home at the weekend. And yeah, it's weekend. Whoops! And she was home. She still is. So I want to spend some time here on the Mindcrack, but not too much. Also got some spend some time with your girlfriend, especially when she's away all the time. And yeah, then you first always realize, you know, if somebody's there every day, you take things for granted. But if somebody's gone, then you realize, oh man, miss her so much. And yeah, you can always see it in the behavior of the cat. You know, I'm also playing a lot with the cat and trying to keep her entertained. But my girlfriend is like the cat's best friend. The cat also was a bit depressed. Could see it. She was really like always coming up to me. Man, my inventory looks like horrible already. Yeah, was always coming up to me and trying to snuggle up, and yeah. So we were happy that she was back this weekend, and we went out, have a little dinner yesterday, and yeah, good times. She has to go again later. Yeah, we could. No, I want to flick it around. Go back. But yeah, in the long run, it's pretty cool. You know, she studied for 6 years. I have to put it in from below then. I will leave it like that. It's the tree. Getting wood. Whenever I change the jar files, you get these weird update messages. So yeah, she studied for 7 years and then started to work at the newspaper here in our city. It's one of the bigger newspapers in Germany. And yeah, it's pretty interesting for me to see that because I was always interested in journalism. And also it's really cool because, you know, let me see, this side would be pretty cool. You always get the news firsthand, you know, if something's happening, I know it already. Girlfriend comes home and says, do imagine what happened today. And yeah, one of the biggest news was, and I wanted to talk about that, Lance Armstrong. I was staying up because he had this exclusive interviews with Oprah, and it was also broadcasted. We might put in pumpkins later on here on a live stream on Oprah's website. I'm not normally not the biggest Oprah fan or something, but yeah, she had the exclusive thing going on with Lance and wanted to see that. And I don't know if you guys have checked it out, but that was pretty bizarre at some places, I have to say. Well, it is some kind of a topic of big interest here in Germany as well, because you guys maybe know Jan Ullrich, the German locomotive, and he was a long year rival of Lance Armstrong in the Tour de France, and they had some epic battles going on. But yeah, all of the time, basically Lance Armstrong came out on top of the matchup because obviously his doping system was better. Everybody knows in Germany that Jan Ullrich was using, you know, illegal drugs as well to improve his, yeah, just his, what do you say, his cardio and everything, you know. And so everybody knew as well that Lance Armstrong was doping, because nobody that is not doping can beat the guys who are using doping in cycling, because it's mostly about endurance and so on, and doping in cycling can be really powerful. And yeah, it was actually pretty funny what he said sometimes. It was like Oprah asked him, Lance, like, do you regret what you have done? And he said, yes, of course, and I will be punished for that for the rest of my life, and blah, blah, blah. That was all cool, but the funny thing was, oh wait, I have to drink something, I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that, a little bit of a sore throat. It's dang cold here in Germany. Hopefully I don't catch a cold. Yeah, and she asked him, do you realize the magnitude of the whole thing? Do you realize that basically the whole world was looking to you, and you know, you were the big guy in the whole cycling thing, you know what I mean? And he acted as if he didn't realize that. He acted as if he just thought he was one of many. I wonder if he I doubt that he really thinks that. I mean, he must realize that he was the guy getting top treatment everywhere, that he was the guy who was on the news magazines, that he was the guy who was getting millions and millions of dollars from his, you know, advertising partners and US Postal, and you know, it's just ridiculous to stand there and say, yeah, I didn't really grasp the situation. I don't really see my role bigger than the role of many others. And that was pretty weird, really. I have to say, that was totally weird, man. And my inventory is crazy. So I wonder if that is just some way of protecting himself, you know, because he just doesn't want to come clean completely. Man, I have to get out of my inventory. There we go. Okay, that's alright, the rest can despawn. So, I think he's not being totally honest. He also said sorry to some people he severely damaged, you know. People were saying, I have proof, or Lance Armstrong told me in the face that he was using illegal steroids and stuff. And he was suing them, not only, you know, you could just sue them and say, hey, you're not allowed to say that, period. Leave the people alone. But for some people, he basically tried to destroy them and, you know, further sue them and harass them and call them out in public, say very mean things. And yeah, that was, he said, whenever somebody was attacking his system or his ways, he went into defense mode and immediately started to attack, basically. That was his method of dealing. Whoa. That was some lag. That was his method of dealing with these people, and but he didn't manage to really say sorry. He couldn't do it. No, he kind of tried, but he didn't really do it. And then he made weird jokes. You know, he called one of the women that were saying, yeah, he was using steroids. He told me in 1996. He called her like the worst things ever. And then he made this weird joke saying, I called her this and that, but I never called her fat. Looking at Oprah with this weird glare, and I was like, what the heck is wrong with this dude? And I don't know if he's pretending to be insane now, you know, so he can kind of protect himself. But also you could see that, yeah, it definitely got to him. You know, he was not like brushing it off. He really looked completely displaced and strange at some times, and you wondered, wow. Yeah, he basically claimed it all on being this very, very driven person, you know, like totally just thinking about the victory, and anything else didn't matter. But on the other hand, he denied whenever Oprah said, so is it true that you did put pressure on your teammates, you know, helping you out at that if they do not use doping, that they will get kicked out of the team? He denied that then, always said, no, that's not true. There was no pressure there, and nobody would have been kicked. I think I wouldn't have done that, and things like that. So if he was that super driven person, and basically whenever there were mean stuff he did, he used that as an excuse, said, well, I only had the winning on my mind and so on. And then whenever, you know, for some things, he just chooses to say, no, I never did that. And also he tried to not, you know, put any pressure on the organizations behind them. You know, he was asked about a huge amount he donated to the cycling like organization there, and he said, no, it was there was nothing. They just asked me. They were a bit low on money, and if I could pitch in and donate something, and then I said, yeah, sure, but I'm not the biggest fan of them. I don't like him. And I was like, huh? Now, why would you donate to them? Then you would just say, no, screw you, I get my money. So the delicate thing about it is, like, it was proven that in 1996 at the Tour de Suisse, I believe, he had a positive test. And shortly after that, this huge donation was made. People were connecting that. He was denying it. He was saying it had nothing to do with each other. Hard to tell. You know, he really sometimes came across as this super naive dude, but at some stage he must have realized what's going on. And yeah, he was saying the doping he was using, it was easy, that he didn't, like, you know, do anything more complicated or special than the other guys did. I doubt it, you know. I mean, the others are also not stupid, and if they knew the ways Armstrong worked with, or if they would be so organized, they probably would have had a chance to compete with him, because there was talented riders around. I talked about Jan Ullrich before, and it was almost scary to see. I remember this one race, I think it was in 1996 even, or 97. Jan Ullrich was trying to, you know, break away at the mountains, Golem whatever, one of the big mountain challenges, trying to break away from Armstrong, and there was no way on earth he could do that. Armstrong was just, you could see it, Armstrong was waiting, and at some point Armstrong said, okay, I'm sick of the playing games now, and then he like destroyed everybody in a way that if you're a pro sports guy, you know it is almost impossible. And I played professional sports for many years at basketball. You know it is impossible that one person can be so physically dominating over others and not use any. It's impossible. It doesn't happen. I mean, you know, on professional level, all the people that doing these sports are good at the sport, and the margin between them is very small. It is not like, you know, there's not light years in between those guys. Of course, there's one guy that is the top guy, but not like that. He was, and there you could see, okay, whatever he is using, because everybody knew that people were doping there, or were looking at it like, from this angle and saying, yeah, he must be doping. I got leaves here, I don't have to cut. We all said, man, okay, he's definitely got the best stuff going on there doping-wise. Because, yeah, couldn't believe that what these guys were doing was humanly possible. I mean, come on. It's really crazy. Okay, got some light here, we can use that. And yeah, that was, oh yeah, it's getting better to build out a bit. Yeah, and that was really interesting to see. And yeah, of course, he talked about his family. And I'm not saying, you know, Lance Armstrong now is the worst person in the planet. I'm also saying, you know, at some point he realized what was going on. He realized, okay, at some point, you know, I will get caught and I will, this is, you know, yeah, how do you say, crap is about to hit the fan. And he knew it, and I think a part of human psychology in situations like that is he used the ostrich tactics, you know, put your head into the sand and don't look around. You can observe this behavior in personal crisis as well. For example, if people get in a financial crisis and are in danger of being kicked out of their apartment and whatnot, and you know, and bills are coming in, what these people then often do is just go into denial, basically not opening the door anymore and not looking at the mail and everything, and the situation gets worse and worse, and you just deny, you know, hide, you won't want to face it. And I assume at some point Lance Armstrong also went into denial stage, and as he is an intelligent person, he knows that he did that. And that is the reason why he is using these very weak excuses, you know, saying, oh, well, I didn't really realize, because he has to explain mainly to himself. You know, you have to, it's hard to say, okay, I totally messed up, you know, I just lost it, it's not easy to do for anybody. And I think that is what he is struggling with from a psychological standpoint, because maybe some guys sometimes wonder why Doc M. And the thing is, I actually do have a degree, and that is in social studies. And there's also a psychology, of course, involved with that. And so I have some education from it. And when I see things like that, yeah, always, you know, the scholar in me kind of awakes, and I have to analyze it and see and ask myself why he did it and how he made these decisions, or what first forced him to say what he said there. So it was really interesting, and I would love to hear your opinion about that. What do you think, about Lance Armstrong and how he, you know, what went down with him? Is he the prime evil guy, or was he just one of many? And secondly, what do you think about doping in sports in general? You know, whenever these huge things happen, you know, maybe some of you guys remember Ben Johnson back in the days when he was racing Carl Lewis, who is obviously also using doping, but he never confessed. But by now it's pretty much proven that he also did. But yeah, in any case, Ben Johnson then had this race where he like 10 meters before the finishing line in a 100-meter dash, he already was raising his hand and like racing world records with like eyes like a bull, high on steroids. Then these discussions come up and say, well, you can't prevent it anyways, so in professional sports it should be allowed. I am saying this is complete bullcrap. That's my opinion about it, because professional sports is one thing, but sports is played by so many people, and not the professionals are only the top of the tip of the iceberg. Maybe they make the money with it, and they have a different function in society. But if you would like make it impossible for an amateur to kind of compete with the pros, because that's what you want to do. You might eventually become a pro as well, and then if you knew you would have to use, enhancing means, just to be able to compete. I mean, that's complete bullcrap. If I had some kids and he was a talented sports guy, or she, and I knew, okay, if, for example, my sport was basketball, and I knew, okay, if he wants to make it in basketball, and I have to dope her, that is ridiculous. I would not allow my kid to play this sport then, because I knew, she at some point she would run into a wall, or or him, and you know what I mean. That would just make no sense at all. So if there's sports, it has to be clean sports. Otherwise, it is not fun. You cannot idolize people who use drugs to get better achievements. It's just weird. In some of the US sports, doping is still handled fairly loosely. If you look at the baseball or NFL, yeah, it's widely known that a lot of guys in the NFL, NBA are doping, and when they are caught, the countermeasures are fairly lousy. Okay, they might get banned or whatever, but not for a long time, and it's almost like it's not a big deal. It's a different attitude. So it's pretty weird, in football. I'm talking about European football right now. I'm pretty sure doping also plays a certain role, especially if you look at the quick recovery times sometimes that happen, after injury. That is sometimes really surprising. I also played professional basketball. On my level, there's also been people that have been caught using illegal substances, but there it was mainly, for example, some dudes were smoking weed or whatever, and of course that's also not allowed and not healthy, and But other than that, there was nobody using, or in my time, nobody was ever caught using something that made you jump higher or stronger or whatnot. So never personally got offered any of these things, never got in touch with people. But for example, a good friend of mine, he was doing decathlon on an amateur level, but he was really good. He was Bavarian champion, youth champion, 14 and younger, and he was really good. Many of the athletic disciplines, and he told me that at some stage, when he was going to the Bavarian championships, he said, well, when I was 14, I was still able to compete with these guys. And then suddenly, 2 years later, when he came back, some of the guys I have been competing with looked like men compared to us, and we were like, what the heck? Oh, it's a cloud. And we were like kids compared to them, and he said he cannot explain to himself how they managed to see such massive, growth in muscles, and he said they must have been using something, because I knew him, he was training 6 days a week, basically. All disciplines. If you do decathlon, you got to do it all. like sprinting, long distance, short distance, high jump, long jump, pole vault, like everything. And it's a lot of training, but of course, if you train a lot, you would, like, he was beefy, he was like strong dude, do massive amounts bench pressing and whatnot. But yeah, and then at one of these events, it was not a Bavarian or German championship, but a smaller event, I went there, and I tell you guys, I saw 16-year-old guys freaking looking like Hercules, man, and jumping. There was one guy, he was jumping, he was 16 years old and was jumping 7 meters and 30 something or 40 something long jump. And for another specialized guy, that was insane, The others were jumping about 680, and he was dominating so hard. I don't remember his name, sadly. Maybe he turned into a professional, like, decathlon guy or whatever, and won a gold medal for Germany by now. Whatever, who knows. But yeah, it was strange to see, and there you could definitely see, and something's fishy there. That is impossible. And yeah, that made my good buddy basically stop chasing his dream and of becoming an Olympic athlete in decathlon, because he realized, okay, legally I can only do so much, but if I want to, make it to the top, at some point I have to start using steroids. And that is ridiculous, guys. So it has to be, chased. Or you make a special league, whatever, the doping league, where only people that are, using steroids are allowed to compete or whatever. But I think it takes the fascination out of, I hope, for example, Bolt, 100 meters. I hope he's not doped, because he's such a sympathetic guy, but the way he is dominating at the moment, according to my theory, that nobody can be like, there always can be a better guy, but there cannot be one guy that is just from another world, at least in where it's just about physical stuff, running. In basketball, if you look at Michael Jordan, he was playing like he was from another world, but that's a team sport, and of course he was pulling a lot of weight on his own, but he was dominating with his team, and it's a different thing. It's about talent. He just had the touch. But if you want to run faster as somebody else, there's a lot of fast people, and at some point, how do you get the edge? And I hope he's not dope, because it's so fascinating to see him run. That is the thing. People love the show, and it also hurts the whole thing. If you constantly think, okay, that was awesome, but was he doped or not? People can just deny it because they want to see the sensation, these epic moments when you see the fastest man on the planet running 100 meters and setting up a new world record. That's the most fascinating thing ever. It is amazing, these moments you maybe remember in your life when you saw a world record run your life or something. These pictures are branded into your mind, and if it's all cheated, it sucks. Sucks. So I hope. I don't want to know if he's dope, because I like Bolt a lot, the way his show and his ways of life. That he's also trying to enjoy life a bit. At least it comes across like that he's not completely obsessed with the sport, but he must be if you're that good, though. But yeah, hoping that he's not dope. That would suck. That would destroy one of these moments for me, because I remember I was in France once, and there was the World Championships, and there was I think it was the World Championships, and it was his world record run, and I remember watching it in this club with many French people, and everybody was like, it was like one of these moments, man landing on the moon or whatever, like looking at the screen like, wow. Nobody was talking, and then it was over, and then you could see people sitting there in awe and thinking, holy crap, he just destroyed everybody. And those moments are awesome. That's why people love the sport. And doping kind of messes it up. It should be really harshly punished. If you caught doping once as a sports guy, you know, not a 3-strike policy or something. Do it once, you everything you did, like it's gone. You cannot go back, and those people should be banned lifelong, right away. No discussion. Maybe that would weed it out and kind of, yeah, force people more to be careful with the doping. But it seems there's a lot of gaps in the system, you know. For example, here in Germany, East Germany, the DDR, GDR, German Democratic Republic. It was a dictatorship, socialist dictatorship, and often countries that are not too successful economically try to shine in sports. And in the DDR, there was like an organized doping system from A to Z, guys. Like, you know, kids were picked with 14 already, young, or 10, 12, were selected. Okay, you're tall, you might become a volleyball player. Okay, you're a stout guy, gonna make a boxer out of you. You cannot choose. And then you were sent to these elite schools, and at young age the doping program started, you know. And they had at some areas, at least in track and fields, the German Democratic Republic guys, the DDR guys, the blue uniforms, maybe you remember, they were dominating the heck out of many events, swimming, cycling, and still, you know, today, now the German system profits from it, not from the doping, but from all the research they were doing. They were spending millions and millions in modern training methods and whatnot, but they also had this crazy doping system where they not even did bother about young kids or whatever, you know. If you imagine if you give a guy who's in puberty some crazy hormones, you never know. And yeah, nobody really was charged for it. It's some kind of a skeleton in the closet in German sports history, I think. Many of the coaches and trainers that worked for the system were, after, you know, Germany reunited, reintroduced into the system and became national coaches of rowing, of the German rowing team or whatever, you know, or cycling. So these people who actually work with that are still in the system, never really got punished for it. It's pretty crazy, right? All for the fame. Still seems, for people it's amazing, you know, to see their country win a gold medal, cost it what may. Sports has been used in propaganda. Here in Germany we have a nice example. For example, 1936, the Olympics. Basically Adolf Hitler used that event to show the glory of the Nazis to the world, so to speak, you know. Show off the glorious Aryan race and whatnot. Totally insane. And the best part about it was Jesse Owens. I loved it, you know. This guy, Afro-American, he was right in Hitler's face, destroying all the white racers, because the Nazis believed in that weird idea, you know, that white people are supreme in something. And totally ridiculous, and that was amazing. So yeah, Jesse Owens destroying all the white sprinters on the 100-meter tracks and long jump and everything. So yeah, that plan failed a bit, but still the Olympics was used to present the new Germany there, the horrible, ugly Germany back in the days. So sports is and was important. The Romans, you know, back in the days used it, bread and games to keep the masses entertained and so on. So as sport is so important for human beings, it should be clean and should be fair. That's my opinion about it. Yeah. Sports talk. I'm a sports guy. Excuse me, just like it. Now the Bundesliga started again. I'm not like a fanatic fan or something, but hey, when I heard Pep Guardiola is joining my club, FC Bayern Munich, Ah, yeah, that sent some goosebumps down my spine, I have to confess. Because that is pretty epic. The yeah, as I said, sport has a magnitude. You could see it in the press. Um, People were already saying the British Empire is falling down now, as Pep Guardiola didn't go to a British club, picked a club from Germany. It's pretty funny, and many of the German coaches and managers were praising it, saying like, "Yeah, that is a sign. Pep Guardiola is joining the Bundesliga. That means we are on top of everything." Like they're already getting crazy again. I think that's a bit in the German mind. Now we think we're the greatest. It's weird. It is weird. For me, it's more funny than anything because first, okay, he's here now, but now he has to prove something. He only was at Barcelona, and now he joins with a new club. Let's see how that goes. First of all, hey, he needs to prove that he can do it at Bayern as well. Hopefully he succeeds. Okay, let's have a look from over there. Putting down a lot of leaves. All my reserves are going. Just collecting so many. Aha. Aha. Yep. Way better already. Yes, we are starting to blend it in. I also want to use fence there, or maybe glass panes again at the walkways. More lighting in there, more branches. Let's take a look from another perspective. Oh, come on, guys. It's getting some places, and then we're gonna take care of this thing here. We need to make our beacon integrated and bigger. But hey, it's taking shape. It's taking shape. Here we need to work as well. I have a nice idea for automatic departure system there. But I think I will stick with finishing this tree house thing there. And I'm liking it. Yep. Enjoying it a lot working here in the bushes. That's it for today. Please leave your feedback about the topics we discussed today. Would be cool. I always love to read that, you know, and discuss. And I cannot answer to all, you know the drill, but be sure I'm reading 99% of what you're saying. Okay, see ya!